Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Crystalline. Last time we ran into Batman and he helped us get a distraction while Leanna got courted by some random dude. And we'll continue here. I nod and the two of us slip through the same door we saw Leanna go through. We enter a brightly lit corridor and try our best to blend in and stick to the few shadows in the room. We manage to escape the corridor without incident and reach another open hallway. A guard stands in the center of the room making his rounds. Zach signals for me to stay back as he sneaks up on the guard. Stay back. I stay back and give Zach space. He has far more experience in this sort of thing, and I do, and I happily follow his lead. As he gets close, he jumps the guard and covers his mouth as he disarms him. I rush over to help him secure the guard into more hidden a clove. He struggles as we place him in a chair. I hold him down as Zach approaches him.
Where are the commander's quarters?
I'll never tell.
Zach grins as he cracks his knuckles.
Good.
Good?
I was hoping you'd resist. It makes interrogation so much more fun.
The guard resumes his struggles, but I continue to hold him down. Zach slowly approaches as I see the fear creep into the guard's eyes.
Hold on a second.
Zach doesn't stop. He balls his hand into a fist, and the guard looks at me with panic in his eyes.
I'll talk. Just get that crazy guy away from me.
Zach frowns, but stops walking towards him.
The commander's quarters are right down this hall, and then a left at the next fork. His is the last room down that corridor.
That's all we needed. Thanks.
With one knockout punch, the guard falls unconscious, and the two of us hurry off. As we turn down the hall, I face Zach. I'm surprised that was so easy. Zach sighs.
I know. How disappointing.
I look blankly at Zach. Okay then. We sneak through the corridors and remain unspotted as we follow the guard's instructions. We recognize the commander's quarters immediately and see two heavy mahogany doors at the end of the hall are slightly ajar. Why are there no guards in front of the corridors? Isn't that suspicious?
Not if the commander's got a woman in his room.
Fair point. Very fair point. We slip into the room and immediately greeted by a frenzy of whispers from Leanna.
Oh, finally! You guys sure took your sweet time.
Calm down. We got here as quickly as we could.
Where's the commander? Leanna points to the locked door that must be in the bathroom.
He went to freshen up.
Oh god. She shudders across his
Okay,
arms.
then what are you doing just standing around here for? Get in a position.
Jesus Christ.
What position?
Zach points his bed and Leanna fails.
You can't be serious!
Do you want to jeopardize this operation or what?
How would posing on the bed help with this operation?
Because while he's very distractedly approaching the bed, we'll be able to knock him out from behind. Quick and quiet, and not alerting any guards.
Leanna sighs, then lacklusterly climbs into the bed. She lays down on her side and props her head up with her
Like
arm.
this?
It's definitely, yeah, I can't help but stare at the curves of her hips, dropping in, alluring as your sultry eyes invite me to go to her. What was the question? Despite the circumstances, Leanna blushes under my stare and scrambles off the bed. Zach frowns.
No, that's not right at all. You have to be more inviting.
Zach lounges on his stomach and bends his legs up at the knee as he rests his head on one of his hands.
This is the most effective pose.
Are you kidding me? You look like you're sunbathing at the beach. That's not alluring at all.
You don't know what you're talking about, woman.
Jesus Christ. That's fucking fantastic. You don't know what you're talking about, woman.
I think I'd know a thing or two more about flirting than you would.
Oh, please enlighten me, sailor.
Oh, I forgot. Leanna's face blushes at the memory. She's about to argue when the door of the bedroom flings open. A lewd man stands in front of the door, nothing more than a two revealing speedo.
Apologies for the delay, my sweet. I wanted to make sure that I was in.
He freezes when he sees Zach on the bed. In the moment, nobody moves.
All right, before we begin fighting, I have a really important question.
Zach mimics Leanna's original pose.
Is this attractive?
The commander's face turns red with rage.
No!
Thank you. That's exactly what I said.
Well, it would have been attractive if I were doing it.
I'd agree that if anyone cares about my opinion. The commander roars out in anger. Zack rolls off the bed and withdraws his discharges in one smooth motion. Leanna's manipulator glows. I pull out my sword and ready for a fighting stance. The commander glares at us.
Do you really think that a bunch of amateurs
Shadow
can
General.
take out someone as powerful as I? You fools will regret ever crossing paths with a Shadow General.
He raises his arms and readies a stance. When his face falls, he realizes he's naked.
Oh, shit.
Oh, don't say that, bad words. Zack shoots a blast which knocks the commander down. He smashes his head against the dresser and falls to the ground with a heavy thud. Leanna rushes to check him, her sword at the ready, but he is knocked out cold. I sheath my blade. That was easy.
They aren't so tough without their magic.
Leanna has her manipulator out and her performs a scan.
He said he was a Shadow General. That just confirms that this has something to do with Void.
She suddenly focuses on an area in the floor, prying up the floorboard. We find a large bag filled with dark spheres.
Tainted spheres.
Definitely Void.
We can't leave the spheres here. We have to take them.
We'll be too conspicuous lugging this bag around.
But it would be even more dangerous to leave them here for them to use.
Yeah. Also, what should we do with the Shadow General? Just leave him here? Zack shrugs. Suddenly the window crashes open. We ready ourselves for another battle, but we recognize the figure as Broodman. He dusts off his head and he dusts himself off and heads straight for the commander.
Finally, we meet again.
Broodman doesn't seem to notice that we're there as he continues addressing the
For
commander.
all these years, I have slowly unraveled everything you've worked so hard to build. I have been that splinter that you just can't pull out. And now I am here to finish what I have started.
I wonder if he realizes he's
For I
unconscious.
am Broodman. You killed my brother. Prepare to die.
He frowns as the commander doesn't
And
react.
even now, you won't give me the decency of even acknowledging my presence.
He moves to indicate the commander when I stop him.
Hey, wait! He's unconscious!
Broodman pauses.
Ah, yes, of course. He was so intimidated by my speech that he passed out in fear.
Yep. That's not what Broodman strides to do. The commander, seemingly without effort, hauls him over his shoulder.
Don't worry, I'll take it from here.
He launches the commander out of the newly opened window. What the hell?
We're on the second floor.
Oh,
Just threw him almost butt naked in the second-story building. We rush to the window from the second level. May not be fatal. It gets to the we break a few bones. Luckily, the commander landed on a bush and looks unscathed. Broodman crosses his arms
all
triumphantly.
according to plan, my friends.
He climbs back through the window and lands on his feet beside the commander and takes him away into the night. We pause and let all that sink in.
We should get out of here before we attract too much attention.
Agreed. Leanna nods. She carried the bag of tainted spheres as naturally as she can and pushes open the doors. There were two guards now stationed in front of the commander's quarters, and they gave us a questioning looks as the three of us slip out carefully and close the door
Where
behind
is the
us.
commander?
Please don't disturb him. He's all tuckered out from our certain activities.
She winks. And the guard clears his throat uncomfortably.
Right, I understand.
The second guard looks suspiciously at Zack.
Hold on. What about you two?
We came to get our friend. Duh. Oh, don't worry. We took part. Oh, no. No, you fucking idiot. Why would you say that? Don't worry. We took part in those activities, too. And I winked and tried to hold back my laughter at their undivided expressions.
Would you like us to elaborate?
Nope, not necessary. You may go.
Zack grins as the three of us waltz out of the corridor. Because the commander had made it clear that what his intentions were with Leanna, we had no trouble with any of the guards milling about to were able to exit the mansion unquestioned. Once we were safely outside, we raced back to the inn. Bursting through the doors, we urgently scoop up Amy and Kara.
Greetings upon your safe return. I assume your endeavors were successful.
Yep, everything's great, but we should really be getting a move on now. We'll fill you in on the details later.
Amelia looks surprised, but Kara notices the bag Leanna carries and urges Amy.
Sounds good. We've been itching to get out of here anyway. Come on, Amy. Let's go grab our things and head out. The sooner we're out of here, the closer we'll be to Elendale.
Amy shrugs and follows Kara upstairs to grab the things. Once they return downstairs, we depart. As we leave Wolf's Den, I spot a familiar dark visage of Broodman. Beside him is a woman wearing a hooded green cloak. She carries a large bow on her back. there's not really time, but I'm really curious about Birdman. I slip away from the group to step closer to Birdman, making sure to stay hidden from their view. The woman is braided along white hair and fine lines trace her tan skin. Birdman
The
nods.
deed has been done. Void's operation here will crumble without their commander. Wolf's Den need fear the shadows no longer.
The woman nods in satisfaction. Suddenly, her gaze slides to me. I freeze, unable to move. What do? Birdman notices her gaze and looks at me. He flashes me a broad smile and gives me a thumbs up. The woman's face is partially hidden behind her scarf, and then she nods slowly, approvingly. And she then abruptly turns and leaps up. She scales the wall and disappears into the rooftop, silently and gracefully, like a cat. Oh my god. Birdman pulls himself up using his brute strength before following closely behind. At least I know he's doing okay. I catch up with my friends as we continue out of the gates of Wolfston. See, I liked that I did that. I liked that. Okay, I'm glad I did that. Once we were on the road, Leanne and I fill the rest of the team in on what happened. After traveling as swiftly as we can for the rest of the evening, we decide to make camp. We choose a secluded area off the main road and set to work. Leanne and I split up to search for firewood while Zach and Gar prepare our rations. Amy unrolls her sleeping pack and the lights get in the campfire. The Pongo cuddles beside her and watches the dancing flames. Once the food is ready, all of us gather around and begin to eat in silence. Kara playfully breaks the silence.
Foiling another void operation. Seems like just another day in the life now.
Actually, now that you mention it, we have seen a lot of void presence lately. Weren't we supposed to have disbanded and outlawed? Why are they everywhere?
Unless every single person who believes in Void's ideals and goals are gone, it's impossible to fully get rid of Void. They've always been around, even after the Tree of Assyria. They're just more secretive about it now. It's just, you won't find them unless you know where to look.
Amelia thinks.
If what you say about Void and its operations are true, then the most logical course of action would be to alert the Mage Guild or Academy of their whereabouts.
They're probably already aware of Void activities and have missions to monitor or take care of things.
It's true that the Mage Guild is involved with a lot of suspicious reports of magical activities. I'm sure many of them have some connection to Void, which the Guild would keep secret so as not to entice widespread panic.
That makes sense. A resourceful organization like that would have some serious flaws in its intelligence if they completely blindsided by all of this. If they were completely blindsided by all of this. Amy nods.
What has been said seems sensible.
Oh, thank you. Zach points to the bag of spears.
What are we gonna do with those? Someone will probably come looking for them.
Elena moves towards the bag.
We'll turn them into the Mage Guild of the next city, and let them know what happened.
She tries to secure the bag, but the blue little head pops up. Pongo dives back into the sea of spears, and we hear a contented sighs of joy.
Pongo, what are you doing in there?
What if he becomes evil? Because he consumes dark sphere energy. She reaches straight into the bag and pulls him out to the Pongo's dismay. He struggles against her grip, but she grabs him firmly. If Pongo absorbs Danger Sphere, will the Pongo become tainted too? Amy shakes her head.
No, the way a sphere becomes tainted is by becoming supersaturated with energy, thus becoming unstable.
Disappointing.
A Pongo's absorption of energy is to turn sad energy into fuel. He is unaffected by the type of energy absorbed.
Kara looks intrigued. She scoots closer to the Pongo and tickles him. He giggles.
Huh. I never knew that.
If that's the case, why aren't Pongos used against Void? Send them into Void establishments, absorb the tainted spheres.
Absorbing spheres doesn't happen overnight. And when a Pongo is full, he'll stop absorbing energy. Just like how we can't eat anymore after we finished a meal.
Yeah, just send in
Perhaps
an
in a
army
span
of
of a couple
Pongos.
months, a Pongo could remove all energy within a tainted sphere.
Exactly. The process is just too slow to be effective during a battle.
Well, yeah, not a battle. Pongo manages to wiggle out of Leono's grasp and plots down beside me. He stares longingly at the bag but makes no move to return. We finish up eating and begin to clean up. Afterwards, I stifle a yawn. The stars shine, pinpoints the lights amidst the black sky. Their comforting glow makes me even sleepier. We've had a long day. As the rest of the group also gets ready for bed, I crawl into my bedroom and close my eyes. The night is still, and gradually I can hear the soft breathing of my friends as they all drift to sleep. A gentle shuffling noise as we blink open my eyes. I see the Pongo slip out of Leanna's bedroom and tiptoe over towards the bag of spears, glancing back every so often at her sleeping form to make sure she doesn't hear. When he gets close, he shuffles the last few inches and the bag scrambles inside. The last thing I hear is a purring of poise as I drift to sleep. I wake up. That was a crazy day yesterday, but we somehow managed to pull through. I stand up and stretch while looking around. Everyone seems to be sleeping. Everyone but Leanna, of course. She's always up bright and early to practice. I think she's rubbing off on me because I'm waking up earlier these days, too. I look down at my Pongo. What the? He's a bigger blob than I remember. He grins contentedly. Were you absorbing energy all night?
Poi.
You do you? I shrug. He can do whatever he wants. I stretch again ever since I got into a routine with Leah, and I look forward to our morning spars. Between the magic training and sword training, maybe I could eventually become a mage knight. It doesn't take me long to find Leanna back in her usual outfit. She sits cross-legged with her eyes closed for meditation. Her crystal glows with her manipulator, but otherwise she doesn't move. As I move closer, she breaks from her trance and gives me a warm smile.
Good morning.
Hey, you just practicing energy channeling? She nods.
Mm-hmm. I was just waiting for a certain someone to wake up so we could spar.
It's time to actually, what if I don't want to spar? I'm sorry to keep you waiting, milady. I wear an apologetic smile. My apologies. I should not keep a lady waiting. Leanna giggles.
Aren't you quite the gentleman? But don't think that means I'll go easy on you.
I ready my blade. I wouldn't have it any other way.
We'll start with a standard spar. The goal is to knock your opponent to the ground.
Yeah,
Ready?
just get you fucking leveled. My grip tightens on my blade and I nod. Let's go. We dash towards each other and our swords meet in a metallic clang. Leanna spins around and swings her sword towards my side. I bring my sword down and hear another clash as metal hits metal. Then I push her blade back as I move to strike. Leanna easily parries it as she knocks my sword away, creating an opening. I manage to dodge her strike just in time. She ducks low to avoid my retaliating blow and thrusts her sword again. We continue to dance back and forth for as the duel progresses. I can feel myself improving, but I'm not having much trouble defending against Leanna's attacks, and I'm able to get in a few jabs of my own too. Beads of sweat cover Leanna's forehead in a light sheen. It doesn't look like she's using her wind magic to buff her. Leanna matches my intensity, something she does every match. Just as I feel confident I have the upper hand, she increases her skill level and I have to scramble to keep up again. Regardless of my improvements, I still haven't been able to beat her in a single match, and those statistics do hurt my pride a little. Maybe if I can distract her and catch her by surprise, I'll have a better chance of winning a match. I've been playing by Leanna's rules this whole time. Maybe it's time to take a tick from Zach's book. Do whatever you need to win. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm practicing to get good, not being an asshole to women. These are practice tools anyways, and the goal is to improve, not win. We continue to spar as usual, trading blow for blow, but ultimately, as she has done many times before, she manages to knock me over. Leanna walks over to me and offers me a hand to help me out. As we cool down, she gives me some more pointers on how to improve, as well as offer some encouraging words on how much I've grown. After a brief break, Leanna has us duel a few more times to help me with my endurance and training. She barely broke into sweat. Even after my limbs feel like lead, I can barely stand. No wonder mage knights are such a force to be reckoned with. Everyone else is up by the time we return to camp. I smell a delicious aroma of food and grab myself a bowl. Once everyone is served, we sit down together to eat. After a few moments of silence, Amelia seems to remember something and grabs a book from her pack.
Here.
She hands it to Kara. Kara blinks surprised, and I notice it's the same book Kara gave Amy back at the Earth Temple.
You don't want this anymore.
Amelia shakes her head.
I have read through the literature and it does not contain any information which could be of use.
That's unfortunate.
Really? We found it in an old temple. Are you sure it's not something that the Mage Academy would want?
Amy shakes her head again.
The text is a subjective moral lesson in the way of a fictional story about an adolescent. This yields no academical benefit.
Kara thinks and shrugs.
Okay, if you're sure you don't want it, then I can sell it. It's still an ancient relic after all.
Do as you please with it.
All right, thanks, Amy.
She nods and resumes eating. Once everyone has eaten their fill, we clean up camp and continue on our journey. We travel together for quite some time. Finally, the sun begins dipping low, and a streak of the sky sizzling pinks and yellows. A rock crunch under our boots as we continue down the path. The air is brisk and goosebumps shiver up my arm. The sharp breeze cuts through my clothes, and I wonder how much further we need to walk. We manage to drag our way through the chill deepening with each vanishing beam of sunlight. Kara leads the way, footsteps ahead of us. Zach's expression is hard to read, but I notice him pull his coat in a little tighter around him. Leanna rubs her hands together before puffing hot breath into the cradle of her palms. The pongo nuzzles against my neck and disappears into my scarf. He's even colder than usual, making me shiver again. I guess I'm not the only one noticing the chill.
Aw, poor little guy. It's pretty cold out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We should pick up the pace. When night falls, it's only going to get worse.
Yep. We agree. My teeth rattle from the cold, and I tuck my freezing hands under my arms. The bitter breeze swirls through Leanna's hair and makes her shiver. She coils tighter into herself. Leah's cloak balloons out behind her, and she lifts her hood over her head. I'm not gonna waste my time. Less chatter means we get there faster. We continue on. The wind ruffles my hair and passes right through me, numbing me with cold. Even Zach folds himself and stuffs his hands deep into his pockets. Amelia yanks her hood tighter around her ears and face and tries to keep her cloak from billowing out too much. Elena keeps her head down, the frigid air turning her cheeks pink. But Kara is walking ahead of us with a little skip in her step. Her arms dangle at her sides as if she's taking an afternoon stroll. I nudge Zach. Is Kara not cold? Zach untucks himself with his coat long enough to take a look, and then his voice drops too.
Doesn't seem like she is.
Elena hears us and then blinks in surprise at Kara.
How is she not cold?
What kind of magic is this? He asked me one explanation. She obviously knows magic. Secondly, they just stare at me. Never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys talking about me?
My mouth drops open. She always hears us. Leanna and Zach look alarmed too. Amelia just blinks at the commotion.
Aren't you freezing?
Kara looks at her blankly.
I don't think so.
Zach stares in tense eyes, his face rose in a confused grimace.
Seriously? How's that even possible when you're barely wearing...
Kara tilts her head and raises an eyebrow. She smiles. The rest of Zach's sentence trails off. Leanna gapes at her.
Seriously, what's your secret?
Secret?
There's gotta be a secret to it, right? Or some kind of heating device that's keeping you warm?
Amy steps over and checks her manipulator.
She does not seem to be using any magical assistance to keep warm.
Kara laughs.
Are you guys a little chilly or something?
Leanna's trembling becomes a little more noticeable as she huddles between me and Amelia. Kara glances at each of our trembling forms.
Oh, wow.
For a moment,
You guys
happens.
do look cold.
She's from
Because
the
it
mountains or
is.
something. She watches Leanna, Amy, and I step closer together for warmth, and her expression changes like a light bulb went off in her head. She turns to Zach and her mouth spreads in a slow smirk. The way she's looking at him reminds me of a fox eyeing a rabbit.
Actually, you're right. I'm freezing. Ooh.
She wraps her arms around herself and feigns a violent shudder before cozying up to Zach.
I'm terribly, terribly cold.
He shuffles away from
What
her.
are you doing?
Kara pouts.
Trying to stay warm, of course. Aren't you cold too?
Zach frowns.
I'm not cold.
Just as he says that, wind picks up again and he shivers, crosses his arms. A sly grin spreads across Kara's
Oh,
face.
of course you're not.
She moves towards him and Zach shuffles away again.
Not happening.
Kara frowns.
But I'm not dressed appropriately for this weather.
How is that my fault?
Kara looks up at him with big, shimmering puppy eyes.
Okay.
She looks defeated and sniffles.
I guess I'll try to manage somehow.
You know, I know she's playing him, but I feel as if he should let her play him. She hugs herself with another theatrical shiver and exaggerates a few more sniffles before added effect. Zach shifts side to side, clearly uncomfortably, crosses his arms and lets out a deep, deep sigh.
Fine.
He goes to take off his coat, but Kara stops
Wait,
him.
I don't want you to be cold too.
Well, there's no other option.
That same devilish smirk slides across her face.
Sure there is.
She lifts up Zach's jacket and slips inside, pressing herself against him.
Hey!
What? We have to keep warm, right? This jacket is big enough for the both of us.
Zach looks like he's about to argue but says nothing. Kara smiles and snuggles into him. Zach's cheeks tinge pink, and he looks away from her. Kara notices his blush and smirks
Don't
again.
think I'm enjoying this. I'm only doing this because it'll be troublesome if you get sick.
Of course you are. That's so sweet. Thank you.
My eyes drift over to Leanna. She glances at me and blushes before quickly moves away. Maybe the meat she wants to get close to. This is a hard pick. I unwound my scarf, much to the dismay of the Pongo, and handed it over to Leanna. She balks.
What are you doing?
Oof, that was a mistake. I'm being chivalrous. Leanna arches an eyebrow.
Chivalrous?
Oof, shit. I slid the scarf over her shoulders and shoved the rest behind her neck, and Leanna flushes as I reach around her and loop the other half up to the front. A half smile rises on my lips. I can be gallant. I can be gallant and lightly sometimes. Her blush deepens.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Alright, it ended in success. It started bad. I know, I won. I cocoon the scarf around her throat again, and Leanna's eyes dart to the ground. I tie the loose knot and hoist the fabric to cover her pink ears. You need it more than I do. The Pongo shoots me an angry look across my shoulder and Leanna. It just sounds so offended. I've never heard a boy that sounded so offended before. He finds his way up to her neck and she burrows back beneath the scarf and lets out a contended sigh. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned the scarf as 2-for-1 deal. Leanna laughs.
Seems that way.
She pauses and smiles softly.
Thank you.
No problem.
We are nearing Elendale. The journey should not be much longer.
I feel bad, but the robot's probably fine.
Oh, really? What a shame.
Zach gives her a look.
I mean, oh boy. Yeah, it's so cold. Good thing we're almost there.
That's fucking very plausible. Kara and Zach quicken their pace as we follow them for the rest of the journey. We travel for a few days. It seems to get colder and colder the more we travel, but somehow we manage. On one afternoon, we finally arrive in Elendale. Ooh. Although there is still a present chill in the air, the sun's bright rays warm us as glimpse of the impressive buildings. People here are well dressed and pay no attention to us. They must be used to seeing those from out of town. As we venture further into the town, I notice lots of people heading towards the center of the square and into a large structure. What do you guys think the building is over there? Amy glances at where I point and she brightens up.
That is exactly where we need to be headed.
She speeds up looking pleased. It seems like everyone else needs to be there too.
Is there an event going on? What exactly is in there?
But Amy is already out of earshot. We pick up the pace to keep up. When we enter, I'm blown away by the sheer magnitude of the place. The Mage Guild. The main doors open into a hallway which splits us off into adjoining wings. One wing is labeled library, the other is there is a conservatory and a cultural center too. The conservatory does not allow visitors, but the cultural center seems to be hosting some sort of exhibition, and that is where the crowd of people are filtering into. Leanna breathes out in wonder as she takes in the hall. Kara cranes her neck to get a better look at the library while Zach watches the crowd and Amy turns towards us.
The library in Elendale is renowned for its collection of rare tomes. It is the largest library in Havengard. Since we are already aware the Wind Temple is in this vicinity, I hope that by cross-referencing the books in the library with the notes from Eldorism, I will be able to narrow down their exact location.
Leanna nods.
Good idea. Do you need any help?
Amy shakes her head.
I am confident that I will discover the information we need sooner rather than later.
Kara grins.
You don't have to tell me twice. I've got some business of my own I'd like to take care of while we're here.
Zach narrows his eyes.
What kind of business?
Kara smiles sweetly.
I had no idea you took such an interest in me.
He crosses his eyes.
I just want to make sure you weren't getting into trouble.
That doesn't sound like me.
That sounds exactly like you.
Alright, why don't we all take some time to relax and explore Elendale, and meet back up here afterwards?
Everyone agrees to go their separate ways. To my surprise, Kara follows Amy in the library. Zach and Leanna both move towards the exhibitions and seem surprised by each other's choice. I take a closer look at the expeditions and see two sides. I guess the reason there are so many people there is because there are two exhibitions going on at once. One is on the illusions of mind, and the other is about the heroes of Asaria. Leanna and Zach both walk towards the exhibit on illusions. Well, Alright, well, I'm going to do that because Leanna's going there. And then I will save, and I'll end it here. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.